Can you kind of maybe talk to, the single guys out there? Like if they're in this season of being single, what do they need to be working on? What do they need to be focusing on in themselves in order to be prepared for that next phase, that next chapter of life, and even getting into a relationship?
Absolutely. So, one of the things, the number one thing I say that a single man should focus on is his relationship with Christ. That's first and foremost, right? Because one of the things that happens in a relationship, the reason why we don't have good relationships is because sometimes the person that enters into the relationship does not know their identity. So when you're single, you need to find your identity in Christ because he is the one that gives you your identity. So having that relationship with Christ is number one. Because if you don't have the relationship with Christ and you're not following Christ's ways, you're going to follow the ways of the world. And let me tell you, the ways of the world when it comes to relationships, they don't work so good. They don't. So with that being said, working on your relationship with Christ is key. And then number two, right, hearing from God, finding out what God has for your life. What is your purpose here on this earth? And just work your purpose. Because as you're working your purpose, I truly believe, going back to Genesis, where the Father says that I will give you a helpmeet suitable for you, right? So, how can he give you a helpmeet if you're not doing nothing with your life? If you don't have no vision for your life, right? If you're not tapped into who God says you are. So, that's the second thing that I would recommend, right? And then the third thing that I would recommend is just develop your skills, right? Just develop your skills. Feed your mind, read books, right? Because the thing about that is we should always be in a constant state of learning. I would say, me personally, if you're single, and I'm not saying that just because this is my arena, but if you desire to be married one day, read books on relationships, talk to people in successful marriages. Why? Because if you get this information early on, when you do get into a relationship, right, there are going to be certain things that you go through in a relationship that you might not have even thought of, but somebody that's been married 30, 40, 50 years, they might have seen it. And they can give you the knowledge on how to possibly navigate those things in a Christ centered way.
Got it. What do you say to the guy? Because this is something I hear, I hear a lot, just from conversations with men. I can even tell, a story I was speaking to some friends of mine that I attend church with, and they have a son that's in his mid to late 20s, still living at home, not really hasn't really found his purpose. And they're sharing me one morning, like we're really just waiting for him to find a good Christian woman so that he can clean his life up. And from what I heard you share there, it's like that's not the way it works. It's like you don't just one day like this woman walks into your life and then the classic Jerry Maguire line, like, you complete me. Like that's not the
Right,
case. Like it's not the
right.
woman's role to complete you. What you said there, it's get focused on your relationship with Christ, get focused on your purpose and mission in the world, and then God will deliver the person, the helpmate to you. So what do you say to that guy that's out there that's like he's just kind of rolling through life right now, like he's not really focused on his mission, he's not really focused because he thinks that he's missing a part of himself, he thinks that he's missing this helper. So yeah, what do you kind of say to that guy, or those people that think that the ultimate completion is when you find the mate?
So, what I would say to that is nobody else can complete you. The only person who can complete you is the creator himself. So, because the creator himself is the only person who can complete you, you need to focus on the creator. And I promise you, if you focus on the creator, he will give you your purpose in life and you will live a fulfilled life, whether you have a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is that you want to call it nowadays. You will have a fulfilled life if you focus on Christ, because he is the one that can complete you. He's the one that fills any void that lacks in your life.